This is the story of the Old Brick, a highly visible abandoned old home located on Highway 25 in Shadeland, Indiana. Jerome Loser purchased this abandoned brick home on December 30th, 1998. What moved you to buy this place?
I have what you call an itch.
You've wanted to buy this place for some time?
Yes. I'd say back in the late 60s. It always attracted me.
What attracted you about it?
The structure of it, the brick, just the overall look of it. It just pleased me when I looked at it. It's really an interesting old house.
There's a house on a hill and it stands alone, where it stood 200 years. Some bricks have fallen, but no one comes calling on the ones who still walk there.
Some stonework there. And then we got metal.
That's a metal cast. Now why would they had a big fireplace in here, and I think this might have been set up for the maid quarters or extra help quarters. And see how thick this wall is? See, this is the secret of it. These walls are so thick. Now you'll have to, I'm a little untidy here, but it won't take me about 5 minutes, an hour to fix stuff.
Dilapidated, overgrown, and filled with tons of debris, this once grand home suffered not only decay from the hands of time, but vandals had been picking at its distinctive ornamentation for years. When he looked at the old house, Jerome saw not only the ruins, but he also saw a diamond in the rough. To him, the old brick house was a jewel for what it once was, and for what it might still become.
This window there, you'd be surprised what this is going to look like after we get the trash out of here.
Guided by the inherited principles of patience and hard work, this 75-year-old man attempts to stop this Civil War-era Italianate brick home from decaying into history. This program explores the history of the old brick house and follows Jerome through his preservation effort as his vision of the old brick comes into focus for all to see.
Old trees huddle there with their silent shade, that whisper when night winds blow. They share the secrets that none among the living can know. They know.
These two dormers, that's the highlight of this part here that's been extended out. It gives that the two-level appearance. See that old window? That's really unique. This is really going to be interesting through here.
Old dreams walk these stairs and old memories light the lamp that floats on down the hall. Old habits and old ways live on almost unchanged, and what is past shall pass from us all.
Main attraction right through here. This room, the stairway. The doors, okay, don't look that bad.
There's a face before a window that stares into the night. There's a heart inside this home, and there forever
Little cabinet doors
it shall stay.
right there.
In some long forgotten day. But those who walk here always walk alone.
Moving in, I would estimate it about 3 weeks. Kind of amazing how it's designed.
Well, there's a house on a hill and it stands it stood 200 years. Some bricks have fallen, but no one comes calling on the ones who still walk there.
I love it. I just can't hardly go to bed at night thinking about getting over here and getting it done. And all I need is somebody that's about as energetic as I am with more muscle.
Jerome Loser was born in Elwood, Indiana. The youngest of 6 sons, Jerome left high school during World War II to join the Navy when he was 17 years old. He worked on merchant marine ships in the Navy's Armed Guard near the end of the war. After the war, Jerome went to work for the telephone company and met his wife, Mary Kramer. In 1957, they moved from Elwood to Lafayette. Jerome retired from the telephone company in 1992. Since that time, he has bought, remodeled, and sold over 10 houses in and around Lafayette. He also helped his daughter Karen and her husband turn an old 1870s brick church in Shadeland into a quilt shop. Seeing him do this work at his age amazes people, but I suppose you could say it comes to Jerome naturally. 5 generations of Losers have been builders. Jerome's great-grandfather Daniel Loser was listed as a carpenter in an 1882 Cass County business directory. His grandfather Charles F. Loser was a carpenter in Elwood at the first tin mill in the United States. Jerome's father Clyde, or Pop as he was called, was also a carpenter. At 78, Pop designed and helped build Mary and Jerome Loser's house in Tippecanoe County. Pop, Jerome, and Jerome's 4 brothers spent 6 months building the house. The house is still home to Mary and Jerome Loser, who just celebrated their 57th wedding anniversary. In 1964, the Lafayette Journal and Courier printed an article about the house and the 80-year-old man who designed and helped build it. Pop was quoted as saying, "You know, most families seem to kind of fall apart with the children going their own ways, but now we Losers, we hang together like a bunch of link sausages." That seems to be true for this generation of Losers too. Mary and Jerome have 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. 2 of the boys, David and Gary, are carpenters. Both have been helping Jerome with the old brick house. Gary lives in Colorado where he builds houses, including this 3-story log home he built for himself. Gary helped Jerome clear out the trees and the tons of junk that was in and around the brick house. His vacation visits to Indiana were often spent helping his father with the brick house.
I think it's a good thing. It might be a little too much, but he'll get it to where he thinks it's where he's put enough time into it, and then pass the baton to someone else. And so I think it's a good thing where he keeps you busy and keeps his, you rest, so it keeps his health good.
David, who helped Gary with the design of his house in Colorado, lives next door to Jerome and Mary in a house he built with his father's help. David has been involved in all the serious reconstruction that's taken place on the old brick.
I've done a lot of jobs around town, but some of them I remember and some I don't, and this will definitely remember this for sure.
Most all of Jerome's family would end up helping in some way with the old brick.
I think it's the challenge of it he likes, and the motivation it takes to take on a project like that, and I think it's just a great thing. And I always heard the time where he said that was the last project. Out of all the projects he's had, I think that's been the biggest one, and I think he's made the biggest accomplishment for what he's had to work with.
I thought he was crazy, absolutely crazy. It was loaded with junk. It was like an indoor landfill, and beds and refrigerators and tires and junk. I was just the grunt work. I was the grunt labor. I only had the skills to clean up garbage, pull up garbage, dig garbage. Durbus, as he'd call it Durbus. I was the Durbus queen. I could only do Durbus work.